So what is Ohm's law? Okay. So while solving this question, so the first question asked after the Ohm's law, what is asking, is there a relationship between the potential difference, which is V, and the current through it, which is I? Okay. So is there any relationship between this? So Ohm's law is nothing but it's telling the relationship between the potential difference and the current passing through a conductor. Okay. So what is Ohm's law? I will first explain it over here. Let me come to the new board. Okay. So we know there is a current passing through a conductor. Okay. And there is a potential difference. So Ohm's law says that the potential difference in a conductor is directly proportional to the current passing through the conductor, or you can say vice versa, that the current is directly proportional to the potential difference. So what do you mean by directly proportional? Directly proportional means, so if there will be more potential difference, there will be more current, or vice versa, if there is more current flowing, it means the potential difference is high, or if there is less current flowing through a conductor, means there is a less potential difference, means we can say that the potential difference across a conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through it. So when we solve, so this is fine. So when we solve this question, because we are going to solve numerical on this basis, so we will have to remove this sign. Okay. So this is called your proportionality sign. So how we are going to remove? So whenever we remove this sign, this sign will be replaced by a constant. This sign will be replaced by a constant, and that constant is called resistance, which is in this case that constant is called resistance. This R is called beta resistance. Okay. What is resistance? I will be explaining after a little while. So for now, in Ohm's law says that the potential difference in a conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through it, and when we remove the proportionality sign, so this will be replaced with a constant. That constant is called R is the resistance. I will explain you what is resistance, what is I, and so you can see over here कि V is directly proportional to I, that's your potential difference. So when we remove this sign of I, it will be replaced by a constant. That constant is called R. That is your resistance. So what is resistance? So resistance is nothing but a resistance is simply, you can say that it will hold or it will, what is resistance in your like daily regular life? What is resistance? Means if there is the work which you are doing and someone is coming and they are stopping and doing that work. Okay, so that's a resistance in the life, or there is a resistance in anything. Okay, so in the similar way, what the resistance will do? So if there will be more resistance, the small current, the more the resistance, the smaller the current flowing through the conductor. So if you will increase the resistance, the current flowing through the conductor will decrease. So for the you have what I have told you, there are conductors and there are insulators, correct? So what I have told you in conductors and insulators, so conductors and insulators are, so conductors, we know that the conductors are good carrying of the electric current. So it means the conductors, the resistance in the conductors are very less. At the same time, the resistance in the insulators are very high. So because of the resistance only, because of the resistance only, the insulators, we cannot pass the current from inside those insulators. Okay, beta. So if you come over here, so there are things which has been written. It's very important for you. Just go through it. So what you are seeing over here. So the motion of electrons through a conductor is retarded by its resistance. It means if there will be more resistance, the motion of electrons will be less, and if there will be less motion of the electrons, so what will happen? That will means that the current will be flowing is very less, correct? So you can simply say that any component which is having less resistance, that's a good conductor. If any component is having high resistance, that is the poor conductor. Or you can say that the insulators are the even having very higher resistance. Okay. So, and there is another word called register. Okay, what is register? Now the thing come over here is register. Okay, so remember while telling you the circuit diagram, let me go there. Okay, so here, so I've told you this is register while explaining this, and I've told you I'm going to explain this later. So what is register? So registers are thus a component which has been designed from the conductors only, but they are having more resistance as compared to the other conductors, or their resistance is fixed like 5 ohm, 6 ohm. What is ohm I will tell you. Okay, so see the definition: a conductor having some appreciable resistance means they will have the resistance, but even though they will allow to pass the current from them, means they will have the resistance, they will allow to pass the current from them, so they are called resistors. So if in the question you might be receiving 1 mark question in the exam, that what is a resistor, just write it: a conductor having some appreciable resistance and they allow the current to pass through it, so they are called resistors. So we are, whenever we are going to do the circuit diagram, so we will study more on this resistors part. Okay, so what are the things I have told you about the resistance beta? The conductors will have very high amount of resistance, very less amount of resistance. So because of that only the current flowing through the conductors is like they feel very less resistance. The insulators are having very higher resistance. Okay, so that's why current doesn't flow from the your insulators. Okay, and resistors, so resistors are having some appreciable amount of resistance, and so because of that appreciable amount of resistance, they allow the current to pass through them, but the what we call the magnitude of current will be less because of the resistance, and they are called resistors. Okay, so now I will explain little bit about your resistance. Okay, so as I have told you, come here, that V equal to IR. So what will be the value of R? R will become your beta V upon I. R will become V upon I. So R is called your resistance, and the unit of resistance, the SI unit of resistance is called ohm, 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 and it has been denoted, it's denoted like this. Okay, I will just make a bigger. This is your, in this way it's denoted your ohm. What do you call it? Ohm. Okay, so this is your resistance. So how you are going to define your resistance? If you come here and you can see that, if here is a definition, but please write this definition in a notebook, it's very important, that if the potential difference across two end of the conductor is 1 volt and the current through the conductor is 1 ampere, then the resistance of the conductor is called 1 ohm. I will explain it over here beta. So what will happen? So this resistance, so when your resistance will become 1, when your resistance will become, then only when on the right hand side, when your numerator and denominator both become 1, so it means there should be 1 volt of potential difference, and the current passing through the conductor is of 1 ampere. The current passing through the conductor is of 1 ampere, then we can say that the resistance in that conductor is of 1 ohm. So that's your resistance, R equal to V upon I. Understand? R equal to V upon I. Right, so there are 3 formulas which has been generated from this, which is very important for you guys to note it down. So what are those formulas? So one is that V equal to IR, V is equal to IR, that's your Ohm's law. So of course, if so can I write this R equal to V upon I? Yes, I can write this. I just shown you over here. At the same time, can I write this I is equal to V upon R? Yes, means suppose out of these there are 3 values over here. Okay, 3 parameters over here: your your potential difference, your electric current, and resistance. So out of these 3, if any 2 values are given, so I can easily find the third value. Got it? Okay, let's move further. So what are the things we have done? We have done with the Ohm's law, we have understand the resistance and how what are the resistors, we have got that. Now the next topic is coming, factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends. Means what are the factors on which because of which the resistance of a conductor can increase or decrease. Means depends means the resistance of a conductor can increase also, can decrease also. So what are those factors? Okay, so few factors are like the temperature also. Temperature is also one of the factor which you guys have studied. Okay, so the major factors also, like apart from the temperature, you can also say the nature of the material also. Like if it will be the metal, then that will have the high resistance. If it will be a like wood or some sorry, if it's a metal, that will have a very low resistance. If it will be wood or any insulators, that will have very high resistance. But apart from this material and temperature, apart from material and temperature, so I've told you what are the factors on which it's depend. One thing I've told you, the material. Okay, the one thing, just write it down somewhere. The factors on which the resistance depend is your material. Okay, if it's a conductor, then that will have less resistance, and if it's a insulators, then that will have high resistance. Second one is your temperature. So on the temperature also this depend. Okay, so I'm not going to go in the detail key how it depend on the material and temperature. The main thing which you will have to notice is that it's depend upon the length of the conductor. Suppose I'm talking about length only, I'm talking about the conductors only, so it will be depending upon the length of the conductor, and at the same time it will also depending upon the area of cross section. Area of cross section, how it depend, I will just explain, guys. Okay, so just listen my words very carefully. Okay, so we are going to discuss these two things. So how your resistance is dependent upon these two factors. I will say that your resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Okay, directly proportional to the length of the conductor means if the length of the conductor is 1 meter, so resistance will be like less. If the length of the conductor is 20 meter or 50 meters, so more is the length, more is the resistance, less is the length, less is the resistance. Okay, understand? And at the same time it is inversely proportional, your resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Means if you increase the area of a conductor, if you increase the area of the conductor, what will happen? So resistance will be reduced. So if this is a conductor, so I will just give you an example. So suppose this is a conductor. Okay, this conductor, I will say the length is of 1 meter and the area of cross section is your, I will say 5 meter square. Okay, so if I will increase, so what will happen? And for now, suppose your resistance is of 10 ohm, for example. Okay, so what will happen? If I will increase the length, suppose I have increased the length from 1 meter to 5 meter, so resistance will also increase from 10 meter to some value. I will explain how to get that value. Okay, but at the same time, if I am going to increase the area of cross section from 5 meter, means length will remain the same, length will remain the 1 meter only, but area of cross section if I will increase to suppose 50 meter square, so at this time what will happen beta? In this time your resistance will be reduced. So remember, more the length, more the resistance, more the area, less the resistance. Got it? More the length, more the resistance, more the area, less the resistance. So these are the two things in which is, so of course here also I am getting the proportionality sign. So can I write this beta? R is directly proportional to L upon A, correct? So can I write R is equal to, so if I will remove this proportionality sign, I will add a constant. That constant is called resistivity. That constant is called resistivity, and which is denoted something like this, L upon A, correct? So, and from here if I will try to find the formula of resistivity, so what will be the formula of resistivity? The resistivity will be area multiplied by your resistance upon L. Area multiplied by your resistance upon L. Now, so and now you will have to find the its unit. So what will be its unit? So see, what is the unit of area? The SI unit of area is meter square. What is the unit of resistance? The unit of resistance is your ohm, correct? The unit of resistance is your ohm. that is divided by, what is the unit of length? Unit of length is meter. So if I'm going to solve this from meter, this square will be cancelled out, and what will I will get? I will get ohm meter. What I will get? Ohm meter. Okay, so the SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Just remember this. And how I have calculated? First thing, beta, the resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Resistance is inversely proportional to the area of the conductor. So I can write R is directly proportional to L upon A. And when I remove this proportionality sign, I will replace with a constant. That constant is called resistivity. Okay, and so if I will have to find the unit of resistivity, so I can write resistivity equal to, this A will go on up and this L will go in the denominator. So this is A times R upon L. So unit of area is meter square, unit of resistance is ohm, divided by unit of length is meter. So that will give me ohm meter. Now come to your book. So you can see here, beta, R is directly proportional to L. Okay, R is inversely proportional to the area, and then I can say R is directly proportional to L upon A. As a result, when we remove this proportional sign, this will be replaced with the resistivity constant. And this is the few value of the resistivity in your book which is given. So just go through it and try to memorize as much as you can. So it might be asked in your exam. Okay, guys. Now, okay, now it's the best part to solve the questions. These questions are based on Ohm's law. These questions are based on Ohm's law and this resistivity. Okay, so let's start solving this question. So the first example is saying that how much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt source. So what is given, beta? Your potential difference is given. Potential difference is given what? How much? 220 volt. Just write it down. If the resistance of the bulb filament is 1200 ohm, so R is given, your resistance is given 1200 ohm. Okay, so what you will have to find? You will have to find the current. So what's the formula? So formula is, according to Ohm's law, V is equal to I times R. So what will be the value of I? I will become V upon R. What's the value of V? So the value of V is 220, okay, upon 1200. So 220 upon 1200, which will, if you will divide, you will get 0.188. Just write it over here, 0.18 ampere. Unit at the end of the answer. Okay. Now come to the B part of the question. How much current will an electric heater coil draw for 220 volt source? So new V is equal to again 220. Okay, hold on. I will just write it in the that side. Okay, so that we'll get a space for this question. So again your V is equal to, beta, 220, correct? And now the new resistance is of your 100 ohm. New resistance is of 100 ohm. So now if you will have to find the I equal to V upon R, so which is equal to 220 divided by 100, which is equal to 2.2 ampere. 2.2 ampere. Okay. So that's your answer. So that's a quite simple question. Hope you guys understand this. Okay. Okay. Now, so what you are seeing over here, so what they actually want to show you over here, like in the first case there is more resistance, and in the second case there is a less resistance. So if there is more resistance, of course the current will be less, and if there is less resistance, so current will be more. Okay. Now the next example is 12.4. So what this example is saying, that the potential difference between the terminal of an electric heater is 60 volt. Okay, so fine, potential difference is given, which is your 60 volt, when it draws a current of 4 ampere from the source. So at this time current is your 4 ampere. Fine. What current will the heater draw if the potential difference is increased to 120 volt? Now the new, so I will just say it V1, and this one will be I1. So now V2 is your 120 volt. Fine. And you will have to find I2. Okay. Okay. So how will you find I2? In order to, I2 is nothing but your current. So in order to find I, so I can write I is equal to V upon R. This is the formula, correct? So what I am seeing over, I is equal to V upon R, but in this part beta only V is given but there is no R. So if there is no R, I will not be able to find I2, correct? So it means first I will have to somehow find the value of R. And how I am going to find the value of R? From the first part of the question. In the first part of the question, what they are saying? They have given V and I, correct? They have given V and I. So of course I can find the value of R. So R is equal to V upon I. So V is your 60 volt upon 4 ampere. So that means I will get the value of R is 15 ohm. So of course the R is going to the same for this because the conductor, that the heater is not going to change, the means the conductor will remain the same. So if the conductor will remain the same, means the value of R will also remain the same, correct guys? So now I got the value of R, which is 15 ohm. So in this formula I can put now V2 is your 120 volt divided by 15 ohm, so which I will get 8 ampere of the current. So my new value is 8 ampere. You can check over here. Understand guys? Okay. Hope you guys understand. Those who have not understand, please feel free to drop me an email or ask in the comment section. Next question is your 12.5. So what this question is saying, that the resistance of a metal wire of length 1 meter is 26 ohm. All right. So let me write over here. So resistance is given your 26 ohm, fine. At 20 degrees Celsius, if the diameter of the wire is 0.3 mm, okay. Now what's given beta? Diameter is given 0.3 mm. Mm is millimeter, okay. What will be the resistivity of the metal at that temperature? Now temperature is same, so resistivity is not good. So what's the formula for resistivity beta? I've told you resistivity is equal to, come here, what's the formula for resistivity? Area into resistance upon length, okay. So come here. So resistivity equal to your resistance times area upon length. Okay. So guys, what you are seeing over here? Here also see length is also given. Length is 1 meter. So I will just write L equal to 1 meter. So what you guys seeing over here? Your resistance is given, correct? Length is given, but area is not there. So since area is not there, so I will have to find the area. So how will I find the area? So in order to find the area, so this is diameter and the area, that's a circle. So what's the formula for finding the area? We know that area of a circle is pi r square, correct? So which I can write as pi r is, what is r? R is radius. So radius equal to diameter upon 2, means pi d by 2 whole square. So before doing this d by 2 whole square, I have told you in the previous video that whenever we are going to solve the numerical in the physics, we will have to make sure that the units are same, that units should be the SI unit. So what you are seeing, the unit of diameter is the millimeter. So first we will have to convert this millimeter into meter. What we will have to do beta? First we will have to convert this millimeter into the meter, because the SI unit of length is meter, and because of that I will find the area. So my area will come in meter square. So let's convert that into meter first. Okay, so what's the value of D? D equal to 0.3 mm. So let me go on the next board. So the value of D is equal to 0.3 mm. So first convert this into the meter. So in the meter this will become 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter. How beta? Because see, in order to convert a number from millimeter to meter, we will have to divide that number from 1000, correct? So if I will divide this number from 1000, what I will get? I will get 0.0003, which I can write in this form 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter. Got it guys? So that's your diameter. Now I will have to find the area. So what's the formula for area? Pi r square. And what is the r? R is my d upon 2. So I can write pi in d upon 2 whole square. So what's the value of pi? The value of pi is 3.14 multiplied by d square, means 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 divided by 2 whole square. Okay. So what's going to be next? 3.14 multiplied by 3 square multiplied by 10 to the power minus 4 whole square total divided by 2. So which will become beta, sorry, 2 square, which will become your 3.14 into 9 into 10 to the power minus 8 divided by 4. And 3.14 into 9 if you will do, so this you will get 28.26 divided by 4 into 10 to the power minus 8, so which is equal to 7.065 into 10 to the power minus 8 meter square. So that's your area of cross section. Okay, so in this section I got my area of cross section. Over here I have the resistance which is 26 ohm and the length is 1 meter. So let's solve that also. So now my resistance, so I will have to find the resistivity, correct? So the resistivity is saying R, what's the formula for resistivity beta? R A upon L, R A upon L. So I will write over here R A upon L. So what is your R beta? R is your 26 ohm and your new area is 7.065 into 10 to the power minus 18. 7.065 into 10 to the power minus 8 divided by length is just 1 meter, so let it be like this. So when you multiply 26 with this, what will you get? You will get 183.69 into 10 to the power minus 8. So we always write in the scientific form. So what we will do, we will move this decimal from here after 1. When we move this decimal, so this will become 1.8369. So since I have moved 2 decimals left, so here it will be multiplied by 100. So when I will multiply this by 100, means if I am going to multiply this by 100 means 10 square. Okay, so this way I will get 10 to the power minus 6, and this I can round it up, 1.84 into 10 to the power minus 6. That's your answer. This is the resistivity. So what's the unit of resistivity beta? Ohm meter. So that's my answer. Come here, we will see your answer. What's your answer? Your answer is saying, okay, here your answer is wrong beta. In your book your answer is wrong. Okay, this is not 10 to the power minus 8, this should be 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, how? Because he is saying the resistivity of the metal is 1.84 into 10 to the power, this should be minus 6. You can check the tables. If I will go and check the table 12.2, the resistivity of manganese. Okay, so what's written here beta? See, 10 to the power minus 6. So the answer in your book is wrong. Okay, so let's go to your next example. Next example is saying 12.6. Okay, so this example is saying a 4 ohm resistance wire is doubled on it. Double on it means, guys, means your length will become half and area will become double. So what's the resistance? Resistance is 4 ohm and they are saying you will have to find the new resistance. Okay, let's solve this question. So go to the next board. Okay, so I'll write over here. So we know that resistance is equal to rho L upon A. Okay, so now they are saying that the new length, okay, so new length I will say L dash will become L upon 2. Doubled on it means length will become half and area will become double. So A dash will become your 2A, means twice of A. Okay, so now you will have to find new resistance beta. So new resistance will be rho L dash upon A dash, correct? So R dash is equal to rho, what's the value of L dash? L dash is your L by 2. So rho L by 2 divided by your 2A. Okay, so then this will become rho L upon 4a. How it's become 4a beta? This 2 will go down. Why it's go down? You might have studied in your maths that if something is a upon b divided by c, so in this case b will go down, this will become a upon bc. Okay, and if it's like a upon b divided by c, so in this case c will go up, so this will become ac upon b. And if something has been written like this, a upon b divided by c upon d, so in this case d will go up, c will come at b, so this will become a times d divided by b times c. So you can see this is your first case. This will become rho L upon 4a. So can I write this like 1 by 4 times rho L upon a? Yes. And what's the value of rho L upon a? Rho L upon a is nothing but R. So I can say R dash is equal to 1 upon 4 times R, means the new resistance will be 1/4 of the original resistance. So what was your original resistance? Original resistance was of, in your question is of 4 ohm, means 4 divided by 4, which is equal to 1 ohm. So your new resistance is of 1 ohm. Hope you guys understand this. Okay, so come here. So here is your answer. Your new resistance is of 1 ohm. Okay. So let's go and solve these questions. So first question is, on what factor does the resistance of the conductor depend? So I have told you it's on the material, temperature, length and area. Okay, anyway, so here I have written the questions, on what factor does the resistance of its depend. So it's depend upon the your material, temperature, length and cross sectional area. Okay beta. Next is going, will the current flow more easily through a thick wire or the thin wire on the same material? Okay, now you guys tell me, what will the answer for this question? In which material the current will flow more easily, thick wire or thin wire? So guys, we know that our resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section, means more the area, less is the resistance, and if less is the resistance means more is the current, correct? So of course in the thicker wire the current will flow more easily. So you guys can see here I have written the solutions. In the last line you can see, thicker the wire, larger is the area of cross section and hence the lower is the resistance, and since there is a lower is the resistance, so current will flow more easily through it. So guys, please write down this solution in your notebook, and okay, and in the exam write it like this only. Okay, now let's go to your next question. Next question is saying, let the resistance of an electric potential remains constant while the potential difference across the two ends of the component decreases up to the half of the former value. Okay, so now resistance is same and the potential difference is becoming half. Okay, we have just solved a question of resistivity on this. Anyway, we will solve this also. So how we are going to solve this beta? So what you are seeing, that we know that V is equal to I into R, correct? Now we will have to find I, so I will become your V upon R. Now they are saying R is same, but new V, I will say V dash is equal to V upon 2, correct? So this will become I dash, means new I which I will have to find, will become V upon 2 upon R. So this 2 will come down, I have just explained. So new current will become V upon 2 R. So can I write this beta? 1 upon 2 times V upon R. And what was your V upon R? V upon R was nothing but your I. So can I write it like this? That I dash means new current will half of the original current. So this is what in your question they are asking beta. What change will occur in the current through it? So current will become half. So anyway, I have written the solution over here. Please pause the video and write it down. So they are saying that the amount of current flowing through the electric component is reduced by half. Hope you guys understand this. Okay, see, the amount of current flowing through the electric component is reduced by half. Okay, let's go to your next question. Next question is, why are coils of electric toaster and electric irons made of an alloy rather than pure metal? You tell me beta. Why they have made up of the alloy and not of the pure metal? Because they will, because of the resistance. Okay, so see here the concept is mentioned over here, that the resistivity and melting point is the two important factor. So anyway, we have not studied the melting point, but we have studied the resistivity. Okay, so we know that the resistivity of an alloy is higher than the pure metal. Resistivity of an alloy is higher than the pure metal. However, so if there will be more temperature, the alloy do not melt immediately. Okay, hence the coil of the heating appliance such as electric toasters and electric iron, they are made up of the alloy instead of pure metal. Understand, guys? So the melting point, na? So more is the resistivity, more is the melting point temperature. Like suppose the if someone is having resistivity X and the melting point temperature is, for example, suppose 100 degrees Celsius. If I will increase the resistivity to 10x, so then probably I will be needing more melting point temperature. So you can simply say that the answer of this question is that the resistivity of an alloy is higher than the pure metal. So if there will be high temperature, the alloy do not melt immediately or readily. So that's why the coils has been made up of that. Okay, beta. The last question is, use the data in the table 12.2 to answer the following question. Which among iron and mercury is better conductor? So of course, let's go. So here is your okay. So resistivity of iron, if you go, so there only they have written the resistivity. So resistivity of iron is this, and the resistivity of mercury is this. So simple. So it's simple that the resistivity of mercury is more than iron. This implies that iron is better conductor than mercury. Correct. So the one which will have less resistivity, they will be better conductor. The one which will have higher resistivity, they will be the worse conductor. The more is the resistivity, the lesser quality of the conductor. So simple thing, the resistivity of the mercury is more than the iron. It means that is the better conductor is mercury. Okay. Second question is saying that which material is the best conductor. So which material is the best conductor? You can see if you go and look into that table, so you'll observe that the resistivity of silver is the lowest among them. Hence the best conductor is the silver, means less resistivity means better conductance. So which table they are talking about, beta? They are talking about this table, where it is, this table they are talking about. Because you can see the silver is having less resistivity, it means it's a very good conductor. Silver is the good conductor. Okay, beta. So that's it for this video, beta. So in the next class, what are the things? Okay, so this is the resistance of a system of resistors. This will have to study, and then we will study the resistors in series and parallel. So this topic we will have to start in the next video. Okay, guys. So till then, go and watch this video, solve the questions from here, solve the questions from the reference book, try to download few questions from the your internet and solve as many as questions you can. Okay, and also please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Okay, please. And if you guys are having any doubt, please send your doubts or in the comment section, or you can send me mail at where beta info@rapidgyan.com. You can always send me a mail over here at rapidgyan.com. Okay, thank you.